When you're dealing with lending, when you're dealing with interest rates, when you're dealing with mortgages, HELOCs, purchases, you're dealing with a very cyclical market, and it goes up and it goes down.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast, helping appraisers increase their efficiency, quality, and make more money. Here's the guy who makes it his life's mission to create value for real estate appraisers nationwide. Your host and the Appraiser Coach, Dustin Harris.
You should know that I record these episodes sometimes several months in advance, actually, and usually the information is pretty relevant still. The topic today comes to you at a fairly unbusy time, a slower time across the nation. In fact, most lender work has slowed. I'll just tell you, I'm recording this first week in November, okay, 2018. And things have slowed down across the nation. In fact, in general, mortgage applications have dropped off by more than 20% in most areas. Now, there are a few pockets out there that are not like that, but for the most part, I can tell you we're down 27% in the last 3 weeks from what we normally would be this time of year. Things are slow. Now, by the time this airs, I'm really hoping, crossing my fingers, that things have picked back up a little bit. That's the hope, right? Nevertheless, I think that this topic is relevant, despite the fact that we might be busier by the time it airs. The relevant part is we are in a cyclical industry, profession. When you're dealing with lending, when you're dealing with interest rates, when you're dealing with mortgages, HELOCs, purchases, you're dealing with a very cyclical market, and it goes up and it goes down. And there are times when it goes down a lot, and there's times that it stays down for a long period of time, much longer than we would hope or anticipate. So I think this topic is relevant in the sense that there's always going to be slower times. My question today, what do you do during those slower times? We are sponsored today by Alamode. Alamode, of course, is the software I've been using for over 20 years to help me to be more efficient at what I do as a real estate appraiser. Go to alamode.com or call them at 800-ALAMODE. DataMaster is the ability for me to save about 45 minutes every single report that I do. Adds up, folks, when you do as many reports as we do in our office. DatamasterUSA.com is where you go for more information. DatamasterUSA.com. And finally, sponsored today by Working RE Magazine. Working RE is where I go to find out what's going on in my own industry. I hope it's where you go as well. It's WorkingRE.com. Working RE as in realestate.com. All right, folks, today we are talking about a very important topic that I think it should be on your radar, something that you should be thinking about on a pretty regular basis. And sometimes you're forced to. Sometimes you don't have any choice but to think about, holy smokes, why am I so slow? Now, here's the thing. Let's say this airs when times are great and times are busy. Is that an excuse to not think about what you would do, should do, could do when things are slow? Absolutely not. Here's the thing. You're going to find that there is a theme in today's episode, and that is don't wait to start making plans. Don't wait till it's too late. You have to plan ahead. You have to anticipate what the market's doing. You have to anticipate what is coming toward you and position yourself. Position yourself accordingly. Position yourself in such a way that you can be successful long before whatever is going to happen happens. That's one of the definitions of success. It's being able to anticipate what's going to happen to you and not waiting until the last minute. Because here's what happens. Most business owners are reactive, not proactive, meaning they wait for things to happen to them and then they react. And guess what, folks? It's a little too late at that point. So when you are slow, you should be getting ready anticipating, preparing for what will and could come your way should you prepare for it. In other words, you cannot be like you've been in the past. If you want to be successful as a real estate appraiser moving forward, folks, you cannot do what you did in the past. You appraiser-sauruses out there know what I'm talking about, right? You cannot sit around the old fax machine, if they even still have those, and wait for it to ring and hope for new orders to come your direction. It is a new world. And if you want to be successful as an appraiser into the future, folks, you cannot do what you've always done. You've got to prepare yourself and move forward into the 21st century. And that means being proactive in times that are slow. Now, a few weeks ago, I talked on this program about back burner lists. Okay. These are lists that you will have in your procedural manual for yourself, for your employees, for your contractors. And these are things that they can and should do when things are slow, right? These are things like, water the plant that's dying in the corner, wipe the baseboards, clean the bathroom, catch up on your accounts receivable, find out what type of, in fact, I'll tell you today, folks, I got 3 emails, wonderful emails from my assistant in her office. Okay, I have 2 offices. I've been in this office all day long. She's 3 minutes away in the other office. 3 emails today saying, guess what? I got a lot of money coming your way. She's been working all day on accounts receivable. These are things that are over 90 days due. Yes, the appraiser coach has things that are over 90 days due that she is working on collecting. And hallelujah. At one point I said, well, it looks like my kids will finally have Christmas. Thank you. Because she's got a couple of really big checks coming my direction because of her hard work and because she is being proactive at times when we are slow. She realizes the importance of making sure that the business is successful, the business is productive, the business is efficient, and she's not sitting around on Facebook because we're slow at work. Quite the opposite. She's being proactive and she's taking advantage of those back burner lists. Well, guess what, folks? That was an episode previously. We're not going to rehash that today, even though I kind of did for a few minutes. I want to talk about some other things that you can work on. Specifically, I want to talk about marketing ideas. Today, I want to talk about what you can do to position yourself so that you're not so dependent on the lender work that comes your direction. Because folks, I don't know about you, but that's the low-hanging fruit in our business. When I say low-hanging fruit, I'm talking about AMC work. Maybe it's a little higher up the tree to get that direct lender business, to walk into the local bank, ABC Bank in your hometown that doesn't use an AMC, and walk in there with your suit and tie or your, whatever you female appraisers wear, your dress pants or whatever, and you walk up to the head loan officer and you introduce yourself and you give him your resume and you give him some sample reports and you say, I'm your man or I'm your gal and I want all of your appraisal business. Okay. Granted, folks, that is something you can work on when times are slow, but I'm not talking about lender business here right now. Today, I'm talking about what you can do when appraisal work slows down to build up specifically your non-lender work. Because there's a whole lot that should and can be done. And you cannot do it when times are busy. When you're busy with that lender work, right? And let me just tell you this. I guarantee there are people that are listening to this right now who have had plans for more than 5 years to be more non-lender centric. Now, notice what I said there. They had plans to be more non-lender centric. And they've still got plans to do so. Well, listeners, what are you doing about that right now? Because now's the time, if things are still slow when this airs, now's the time to be working on your non-lender side of things. Now, some of you are not interested in non-lender. Some of you have told me, Dustin, if lender work goes away, guess what? See ya. I've got other things I can do with my life. I'm not interested in being out there. I'm not interested in trying to garner work from real estate agents, attorneys, homeowners. That's not my ball of wax, so don't push it my direction. I don't want it. Okay, great. I'm not talking to you today. You can turn it off now. You can move. Well, wait till the sponsors, okay? The sponsors like you listening, at least that far. Once the sponsors are done, you can turn it off and move to the next episode. Today's episode is for those of you who are interested in not having all your eggs in one basket, in being willing to be open to some other things that could come your way. Speaking of other things that should be coming your way, how about Datamaster 6, which is rolling out across the country? And if it's not in your city now, it is coming, and it's coming very soon. And if you have not seen the demo, folks, I guarantee be prepared to be blown away. Datamaster 6 is Datamaster 1 on steroids. It is saving 30 to 60 minutes per report, plus being able to do basically all your analysis right there in Datamaster, and then downloading into your software, which in my case is a la mode. A la mode, of course, is the system that I've been using for 20 plus years, and there's a reason I use it, because it gives me everything that I need. Folks, Datamaster 6 in combination with a la mode blow you away as far as your ability to be able to get more done. And today we're talking about non-lender work, folks. Those two things work hand in hand together to help you to do more non-lender work. Check out a la mode by going to alamode.com or 800 a la mode, and check out Datamaster by going to datamasterusa.com. Use them together, folks. If you want to save time, if you want to be efficient, those are the two things that you need to be using. A la mode for your form filling, and Datamaster to be able to save you time and energy in the process. We, of course, are sponsored today also by Working RE Magazine. Working RE is the ability for me to know what's going on. I, on a regular basis, to my inbox, get an email from Isaac, from David, from others at Working RE reminding me of things that are happening. Folks, that email is free. And if you're not signed up for it, you need to be. Go to workingre.com. Wait just a few seconds. Go to their homepage. You can start looking around, browsing around, but in a few seconds, you'll see a pop-up box. It will come up on your screen, and it will ask you if you want to subscribe to their blog. You need to do this, folks. Their newsletter comes out on a regular basis. It is packed full of information that you need. If this is going to be your profession, right? If you're in this for the long haul, you need to be signed up to workingre.com's email. One more time, it's workingre.com. And we're back, folks. Today we're talking about what do you do when appraisal work slows down? And it does slow down. We're in a cyclical profession. It goes up, it goes down. I love it. I love it, love it, love it when it's busy. Don't ask that same question to my employees. They find that I get a little stressed out when it's busy because I still want to keep up on our 48-hour turn times. I still want to be able to keep things on the up and up with my clients. And when things pile on, we get a little stressed out around here. That's okay. My employees have learned to bear it well. But here's the thing, folks, you're going to slow down. We're going to slow down as an industry. My question for you is, what are you doing during that slow time? Now, there's a back burner list that we talked about of things that you should, could, ought to be doing. But folks, those back burner things, a lot of times are not going to be making you money. Now, accounts receivable is going to bring money in the door. That's a plus. That's a good thing. But what about making new money? What about money that will be into the future? Don't wait to start the process of building up non-lender business. Here's the thing, and you all know this, but just as a reminder, non-lender business does not happen overnight. It is pretty rare when things can slow down and within a week you can be the hot appraiser in the non-lender side of things in your marketplace. These things take time, and I'm sorry to tell you, sometimes they take a lot of time. I mean, a lot of time. So start now. Don't wait. Big shout out to my good friend Ryan Lundquist in Sacramento. Ryan is a perfect example of an individual who years ago was doing mostly the low-hanging fruit. He was doing mostly lender work, and he decided that he was going to be different, that this is not something he wanted to rely on the rest of his life. So what did he do? He started out the Sacramento blog. He got involved in Facebook. He got involved in Twitter. He became very active in his market, and he became the go-to guy for non-lender work. And I could be wrong. Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that 90+% right now of Ryan's work is non-lender. And it's very less cyclical. It's much more consistent, in other words, than the lender work is. It's not the deep valleys and the high peaks that we sometimes see in the mortgage business. It's much more steady. Now, I'm sure he has some slow times as well. He has some busier times. I get that. But on a general level, non-lender work is not as up and down as lender work is. Now, most of you are probably not going to switch from lender to non-lender completely like Ryan did. But I'll tell you, folks, if you want a good example of what you could do with your business, look to Ryan. He's a great example of what an appraiser could do in a very hot market, Sacramento, right? Outside of San Francisco. Very interesting to watch what Ryan has done. He's now the go-to expert in his area. When a TV crew needs a statement, when a newspaper needs a statement, I mean, he's been published in places like I believe the New York Times, the Washington Post, one of those big ones, if not more than maybe the Wall Street Journal. I apologize, Ryan. I don't keep track of all of your accolades, but I know it's one of the big newspapers, at least one of them, and probably multiple ones. Why? Because he's known as an expert. And how did he get there? Well, honestly, for lack of a better term, he dubbed himself an expert. He created a blog and said, guess what? I know a little bit about valuation and I'm going to teach others. And now he's the go-to person, at least in his market and sometimes nationwide, for that information. Jonathan Miller's another example. Somebody who took an appraisal business, a very successful appraisal business in New York, and started putting out information, and he became the expert in his area. And on a nationwide business side of things as well. When a national news organization such as Fox News wants a quote from an appraiser, a lot of times they'll go to Jonathan Miller to get it. He handles himself well on the television set. And now some of you are saying, Dustin, I don't want that. I don't want to be on Fox News. I don't want to be on CNN. I don't want to be quoted by the Washington Post. That's fine, folks. I'm not saying you should be. What I am saying is these are individuals who had a business and created more. And they probably did it during the low times, the slow times, right? Now, it's a long process. It's not something you just focus on when things are slow. It's something that you're constantly feeding and constantly working on. Okay, but I've seen many, many individuals, including people in my mastermind group, transform their business from mostly appraiser-centric or lender-centric appraisals to mostly non-lender. And they all do it the same way. You ready? Here's the formula, folks. Just going to lay it out there. None of this will come as a surprise, but here it is, okay? You have to have a blog. You've got to have a blog. Now, some of you are saying, Dustin, I only have a website. Okay, let's start there, shall we? Get a website, get a blog, and update it regularly. Trust me, folks, Google loves updates. Google loves fresh, new content. And Google will look for fresh new content. Why do you care what Google looks for? Because that's simply code for that's what your potential clients are looking for. That's how they're going to find you. You can have the nicest, fanciest, beautiful, most colorful website out there. But if Google's not finding it, your potential clients are not finding it, and nobody is seeing that wonderful, beautiful gem that you've created. You've got to feed it constant information, including vlogs, okay? Notice that started with a V as in violin, vlogs. There's blogs, which are the articles. Vlogs are videos. Highly recommend that you do videos on a regular basis. They don't have to be long. In fact, they're better if they're short. Do short videos of questions that you might come in. Your video might say something like this. Hi, Dustin Harris. I'm an appraiser here in Idaho Falls. Got a question from one of my clients today about FHA inspections and why I have to go in the attic. Let me just tell you briefly about why I need to go see your attic when it comes to FHA inspections. You spend a minute and a half talking about something that you already know the answer to because you're asked those questions all the time, folks. Just take the questions that people ask you while you're at the inspection and turn them into a video. Turn them into an article. Let me give you a hint. Somebody emails you a question about an appraisal. Take that question and your answer and turn it into a blog. Fresh content on a regular basis. You have to be known, and you have to be known as the expert. Okay, you're known as the expert by being out there and putting fresh new content out there on a regular basis. Here's another way to put that content out there. Speaking. Find opportunities to speak to real estate agent offices, to your board of realtors, to attorneys on a regular basis. Most of these offices have what they call lunch and learns. And these are times that their group of realtors, maybe there's 10, maybe there's 20, maybe there's 50, but they get together and they a lot of times brown bag it, right? It's not even catered. It's just an area. They say, hey, come learn, come bring your lunch, go to the taco wagon, get your taco, come here, sit down. And for an hour, we've got an appraiser that's going to talk about appraisal stuff. Folks, if you're not doing that on a regular basis, I highly recommend it. I have one coming up in 2 weeks, and this is a direct result of we slowed down, and I got on the phone and got busy. And I called some contacts that I have out there, and I said, hey, tell me what you're dealing with right now with appraisers. Oh my gosh, appraiser, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's all you have to say. And then the next 20 minutes, you get an earful, right? Oh, they're doing this, and they're coming in low, and they're blah, 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 blah. How would you like me as an appraiser in this area to answer some of those questions for you? How would you like me to come and talk for 30 minutes and then do a question answer session for the next 15, 20 minutes on top of that? Oh my gosh, we would love it. We've got a thing coming up on the 6th. Please come. It's at 9 a.m. We'll set you all up. Bring your cards, bring your pamphlets, bring any information that you have. We would love to host you. Okay. I'm telling you, it is not hard to get these gigs, but it takes some work. It takes you picking up the phone. One more thing I'm going to share with you, and then I'll let you go today, and that is homeowners. You need to look for opportunities to market to homeowners as well. Yes, the lower hanging fruit than homeowners is realtors, is attorneys. By the way, luncheons with attorneys is a great way to get their ear. Most attorneys are not going to come to a lunch and learn unless it's at a restaurant. It's just the way that I found works better. Okay. Yes, it's going to take some out-of-pocket cost on your side. Guess what, folks? That's marketing. That's an investment. It's an investment in your future. Okay. And then homeowners. Find opportunities to reach out to homeowners, whether it be for tax appeals, whether it be for curiosity's sake, for sale by owners. There are opportunities galore for you to brainstorm some ideas in your appraisal office and start to reach out to some other potential clients. It will change the way that you do business. And here's why. Instead of these huge peaks and these low valleys up and down in this world that we call lending or financial mortgage appraisal work, you're going to find that there's a whole lot bigger world out there. Now, I know a lot of you are getting frustrated right now. You're getting frustrated with the stipulations that are coming from Fannie, from Freddie, from the regulators. You're getting really frustrated with FHA and HUD and even VA. I've heard some frustrations that direction. So they're still my best client, by the way. There's some frustration out there, folks. Well, guess what? It doesn't have to be everything that you do. And this world is changing. I don't know if you noticed that, but the appraisal world is changing. It really is. And it's going to look much different 3 years from now, 5 years from now than it does today. Well, speaking of today is the day to start working on your non-lender side of things. What do you do when appraisal work is slow? Well, I hope that you're getting ready for the future by building it up and putting your eggs in some other baskets. Folks, these are the kind of things that we talk about in specifics in our Appraiser Academy. Every month, we have an opportunity to meet online. It's interactive. It's the ability for you and I and appraisers across the country to talk about their business. It works like this. You attend live. You are there on the computer. You see me. I see you. You interact. You can raise your hand. You can talk. You can be a part of the process, right? It's highly encouraged. And the first part is more webinar style. It's more me teaching you, going through maybe a PowerPoint presentation on some topic. Maybe we're talking about hiring VAs. Maybe we're talking about how to market to non-lender clients, right? And we answer your questions, and it's very interactive. And then we take a short break, and then we come back and we spend the rest of the time answering your questions, whatever the topic. It may come, and it usually is completely not related to whatever topic was the first part of the meeting. That's what we do every single month in the Appraiser Academy. Would love to have you be a part of it. You can do so by checking us out. Go to theappraisercoach.com/memberships. Just click on the membership tab, check it out. All kinds of benefits being a part of the Appraiser Academy. We'll see you there.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.